opening with the Philadelphia Eagles, 9-7. Finished first in the division. Obviously lost to the Seahawks, 17-9. Let's first start with their schedule. They open up with Washington, then the Rams. What are you guys' thoughts on this schedule here?
Well, I'm just looking at it. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, they got some tough games. San Francisco, Baltimore. That won't be easy. Seattle, New Orleans, but they play in a pretty weak division, so that helps them tremendously.
I think we can all just save ourselves some time and just be like, Philadelphia is gonna win it all in their division.
Yeah, I think
I just feel like this division sucks so much.
We'll get to why as we move along, but I think the Eagles, right? I think the Eagles are certainly the best team in the division, but a lot of people see the Cowboys as a true threat to them in this division. But we'll get to the Cowboys in a bit. But this schedule is, this schedule is pretty easy. I think you look maybe week 12, week 13, week 14, you got Seattle, Green Bay, and New Orleans. That's a little bit tough. And then, of course, Arizona. That stretch at the end is a little bit difficult, but this team has a schedule where they should be able to find a way to win this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the schedule, the talent on their team alone should be able to carry them to winning the division. But
and we talked about the issues at receiver last year with the Eagles, and they really fixed that. It's like it was just injuries.
Absolutely.
We got them back,
And this team would have been formidable going against Seattle in the playoffs if they hadn't had all their players die.
But get injured.
But you know what I mean, basically get injured in the 3 weeks leading up to the playoffs,
and early on,
and then have their starting quarterback get taken out, in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Before we ever talked about that play.
I think we might have for a bit, but let's talk about Jalen Hurts first and this quarterback situation before we get to X Factor players. Jalen Hurts, do you expect him to be on the field in some capacity next year?
Yes.
I think he'll be there as a wide receiver.
Receiver.
I mean, I guess he could be.
I don't think he'll play quarterback this year.
Well, I think it'll be like a
Taysom Hill situation, kind of.
No, like an Alabama situation from whatever year it was after
15 or 16, something like that.
Yeah, when he and Tua were the
two
starters.
Quarterbacks.
They both Tua played more as a passer, like Wentz would, and then Hurts would go in and do lots of option plays and stuff like that. Which is the second they drafted him that high, as high as they did, I was like, okay, that has to be what they're thinking, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have, picked him up that early. And they saw that was effective for Alabama, so maybe they are thinking, hey, let's try it ourselves. I mean, it's Doug Peterson, I think he's a much smarter coach than people give him credit for.
No, he absolutely is.
Just with the way that he has been able to develop systems around whatever quarterback he had and won a freaking Super Bowl with it. I mean, come on. That's
with Nick Foles.
And beat Bill Belichick and Tom freaking Brady in a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. That is,
That's impressive in itself. Okay, so two things for the Jalen Hurts pick. One that's been reported, one that's kind of been theorized. Of course, one is that the theorizing point is that Carson Wentz gets hurt often. And that Hurts can definitely step in and do something. As you talked about with Nick Foles, they feel like they can develop Hurts to be a much different quarterback than Foles, but come in right away if need be. Second, and this has been pretty widely reported, so they missed out on Russell Wilson in 2012. And they look at Jalen Hurts as that type of player. And they didn't want to pass up on it. And that's why they took him in the second round.
He's more like a Lamar Jackson type to me.
Mm-hmm. But we're talking about early Russell Wilson, like 2012, 2013 Russell.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe.
Brandon, thoughts on Jalen Hurts' pick here for Phil?
Like, it... To me, it's like a long-term thing. It's definitely not like a start right away pick, you know?
I mean, I don't think...
For me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they are planning on having him, like, take over anytime soon, you know? I think also part of it, too, is the fact that, I mean, Wentz is amazing, obviously, but he's hurt a lot. And,
right,
yeah.
right.
You know, that would worry me. You know, I would want to get a guy that establish a good backup guy that I can really rely on. Because, I mean, I'll just be honest. As good as Wentz is, I just don't trust him. Because he gets hurt every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Which is horrible, but it's just, you know, it's the way it is, unfortunately. So, I mean, I would guess that's part of it as well, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so X Factor players for the Eagles. Who is it? Who wants to start?
Well, I mean, for me, it's got to be the man I was just talking about, Carson Wentz. You know, because regardless of, you know, if you look at all those injuries that they sustained at the end of last year, the fact that he was able to hold that offense together and go and win all those games at the end of the season with a backup running back as your slot receiver. That's pretty incredible.
In Boston Scott, right?
Yeah, that's I mean, that's pretty incredible. You know, and it's been very clear recently that they have struggled greatly when he is not playing, and so therefore I think that he is definitely the most important piece for this team. And you know, of course, they need everyone to, not everyone, but they need more people to stay healthy next year. You know what I mean? That'll obviously help.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
I think my pick is it's not just one person. It's the entire wide receiver core.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I just feel like if the wide receiver core can stay healthy, this team should have no reason not to just easily win this division.
No doubt, yeah. So there's a lot of options, right? You mentioned the receiver core. They just picked up Jalen Reagor, who's an absolute burner, which will definitely help Carson Wentz. Andre Dillard, the Washington State first-round pick from last year, starting at left tackle. Then they also helped out their defense by picking up Darius Slay. They needed help at corner really badly last year. Their secondary was terrible. But for me, I got to go with a player that I really think is going to have a breakout year, running back Miles Sanders. He was excellent in the playoffs, really a huge part of their offense, especially when Wentz went down. I expect a big year out of him. And if Carson Wentz can hand the ball off to Sanders, like, I don't know, 15, 20 times a game, it will help Wentz, you know, not have to throw the ball as much and limit his injury risk as well. So I'm going to go with Miles Sanders, second-year player out of Penn State.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you know, he definitely had some good moments there last season, but I think, you know, getting him in this next season just to complete that offense, you know what I mean? Because you do have to have a good run game as well, and Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely expecting him to pop off this year. So that'll be exciting to see.